what I remember most clearly, or two things I remember really clearly, are dying, the way I was killed, which was absolutely marvellous. I was shot with a bullet that had poison in it that made me age. So the first shot was me looking a little bit older, and then trying to run away from my pursuers and getting a bit older, and each time I had to go back to makeup and they were putting more and more lines on. Pity they didn't wait until today. And then finally I was so old that they cast a really old woman who was lying in a crumpled heap on the floor. That was the last shot, and I looked at her and thought, I have no intention of looking like you when I'm dead. Or when I'm old.
Dalek Master Plan was the only story in which you featured as the character Sara Kingdom. Although Sara only appeared in one story, she is still considered to be one of the Doctor's regular travelling companions. Why do you think, after all these years, there's such a strong interest in a character that only appeared in one story?
I think, if anything, interest in Doctor Who grew and grew and grew, and I think today, in a way, people are more interested in it than they were when it was on all the time. And then I think that that particular one, I don't know why, went to people's hearts. I mean, they really liked that very much. But I think the Daleks were always the absolute favourites. Although my favourite of doing it, because I did, first of all, I played the Princess of France in just one episode, and then I did 10 episodes of Sara Kingdom, and then the last time I did it, I played the first 4 episodes in the last season, and that was called Battlefield, and I thought that was my favourite for doing. I thought that was well written and well directed and very, very good actors.
We recently met Julian Glover, who was recalling the time he worked with you on The Crusade. He was explaining how elaborate the sets and costumes were for that story. Have you got any specific memories about The Crusade?
Yes, I never see the sets because I'm short-sighted, but I remembered my costume was very sumptuous, very beautiful and trimmed with fur, and I guess that was right because I was playing a princess. Yes, there it was. It was... it wasn't always very good, the sets. You know, when I got into trouble when I was playing Sara Kingdom, because at one point I wore this tight-fitting brown tweedy catsuit. I don't know why one would wear that in the future, but still that's what I was wearing. And I had strapped round my waist a sort of box that looked like a gas mask case, and it was supposed to contain my ray gun. But of course it never did, and I used to keep a sandwich and my keys in it, my dressing room keys, and I remember once I had a tomato sandwich in there, and I wasn't supposed to open it, and the director said, now first of all you switch the TARDIS on, and then you get your ray gun out. And I said, I've got a ray gun. He said, well, just feel for it. So first of all, I switched the TARDIS on, and the knob came off in my hand, and I started laughing. I controlled myself. And then he said, all right, action. So I pretended to switch the TARDIS on. And then I pretended and put my hand in my sort of little gas mask case, and my fingers squidged into a tomato sandwich. And I came out with my hands all sticky and dripping with tomato. And I started laughing again. I couldn't stop laughing. And I was sent off the set. The producer said, go to your dressing room and don't come back until you've pulled yourself together. And I said, well, that may be a very long time. Tee-hee-hee. I was far too old to behave like that.
Episode 7 of the Dalek Master Plan was transmitted on Christmas Day 1965. There's some mixed stories about the end of the episode, in which William Hartnell gives his Christmas greeting to the camera. Have you got any memories of this at all?
I don't think I have real memories because I've been told about it so much. Something happened that was a surprise, I think, but I can't remember because for a long time I didn't think about it. You know, I didn't know that Doctor Who was going to be a great cult thing and that I would be interviewed. And then I've been told so many stories about it that I don't know what my memory is. I'm sorry.
And what about Kevin Stoney, who was one of the guest stars on the Dalek Master Plan? Have you got any memories of working with Kevin Stoney?
No, I don't have any memories. I've got a very good memory for lines, but because when I work I don't wear my glasses, and that was such a long time ago. I remember Julian because Julian was married to my best friend, who's Eileen Atkins, who's still my best friend, but they're not married anymore.
Yes, you said that at the time that you were friends with his wife.
Yeah.
After filming the Dalek Master Plan, if you'd been asked by the Doctor Who production crew to stay on and play Sarah Kingdom as a regular companion, would you have accepted?
No, definitely not, because I liked Sarah Kingdom and that was fun, but I was a bit too young really to do a television series. It's incredibly trapping. It's very hard to do anything else, and we're so lucky actors, that we move around and we're always doing different things, that to do a series is a bit like having a job in a bank. You always know where you are. So the only time I ever did a long television series was Upstairs Downstairs, and I did that because the original story was my idea.
Your last Doctor Who appearance was with Sylvester McCoy in Battlefield. Why do you rate that as your favourite story?
I just thought it was very well written, and I could be a rounded character. Morgan Le Fay was evil, but the director allowed me to show why she was evil, and that there's no such thing as a totally evil person. That's why you never guess who criminals are, because they've got the kind side to them. So I thought I enjoyed that enormously, and I really did think that, and Angela, who was in it, was very good. I thought the actors were very, very good. Well, and the director was helpful. Just one of those things, it worked.
And if the series was still running, would you come back as a guest star?
Yeah, sure. If I liked it, yeah. I like to do all sorts of things. I know some people only want to do Shakespeare or posh things, but I think that's a bit pompous. No, of course I would.
That's lovely. Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.